Have you ever been to a car meet? They happen all over the place. The idea is simple. People who enjoy cars all drive to a giant parking lot somewhere and gather to take a closer look at each other's vehicles. These sorts of events are a car enthusiast's dream. Rows and rows of classic cars, muscle cars, sports cars, luxury cars, maybe even a truck or two. Everyone wants to have the car that everyone else is talking about and coming to see. After all, getting your photo taken with a candy apple red sports car can look amazing on social media. But when you go to a car meet, it's not just about what's on the outside that matters. When you go to a car meet, you also pop the hood, because what's inside the car, what makes it run well and hit those high speeds, matters even more. Your car can look like $1,000,000, but if the battery's dead or if the engine doesn't run, it just doesn't matter. It's a giant sculpture, which might be great at the museum, but at a car meet, you want to see how the car can drive. Now, why am I talking about cars and car meets? Well, it's because when it comes to living a life with wisdom and integrity, like a great sports car, what's inside matters most. If you want to be a person who others trust and count on, you need to be, not just look like a person people can trust and count on. It all comes down to the idea of integrity. And as we look at the world around us, we can't help but see how integrity is more important than ever. That's why we're taking the entire month of October to talk about it with our kids. We define integrity like this: choosing to be truthful in whatever you say and do. Kids learn about telling the truth a lot, but just because you say one thing doesn't mean you actually live that way. We want them to see the value of being truthful with their whole lives and choose to live with integrity. Throughout the month, we'll take a look at people who had integrity as well as those who didn't, along with a few principles that can help us have integrity with God and each other, including our memory verse, Proverbs 10:9. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely, but anyone who takes a crooked path will get caught. We hope kids remember that integrity starts with the decisions we make that either build trust with others or tear it down. And throughout the Bible, we see this played out in all sorts of ways. We start the month with a teaching from Jesus. He talked a lot about how what's on the inside matters most. If you want to be a person known for good things, you need to build your life on good things. And the best way to do that is to stay connected to Jesus. Bottom line, be truthful with your whole life. Then in week 2, we head to 2 Kings 5, where we find the prophet Elisha and his servant named Gehazi. Gehazi seized the chance to gain riches for himself by being dishonest and taking advantage of Naaman's gratitude. He went behind Elisha's back and inevitably lost his trust. We want kids to know that being truthful isn't just about telling the truth. It's about the relationship with the person on the other side of that truth. Bottom line, when you're not truthful, you lose trust. For weeks 3 and 4, we head to the book of Daniel. He was someone known for integrity long before his moment in the lion's den. In Daniel chapter 1, we discover how when he and his friends were first captured by the officials and taken to Babylon, no one would have known or cared if they followed God's law or not. But when they had the choice, they knew following the path of integrity would be most important. Bottom line, do what's right wherever you are. Next, we head over to a few chapters in Daniel 3 and see how Daniel's friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego showed integrity. Nebuchadnezzar built a statue for everyone to worship as God, and if they didn't, they'd be thrown into a fiery furnace. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew God's plan for them. They decided to obey God, even though it would cost them. God came through and rescued them from the furnace. Because of their integrity, others were able to see God's power and learn to trust God too. Bottom line, when you do what's right, others can see God. We finish out October with something Paul wrote in his letter to the Philippians. He tells them, "Finally, my brothers and sisters, always think about what is true. Think about what is noble, right, and pure. Think about what is lovely and worthy of respect. If anything is excellent or worthy of praise, think about those kinds of things." If we want to have integrity with our entire lives, we have to fill our minds with good things in the first place. Bottom line, focus on what's true. Integrity is a really big deal. When we have integrity, our words line up with our actions. People know they can trust us. Our relationships grow stronger. In fact, this sort of integrity is the heart of God. We can trust that God will always be good to us. We want kids to begin building the kind of lives that show they can be trusted. because they know the one who can be trusted above any other.